So we are jumping into our next unit on inequalities, which is related to what we've been dealing with in algebra. There's going to be some similarities that you're going to see. And today really I need to just kind of review. I think some of this may have been seen in the past. But we're just going to talk briefly about what inequalities are, how we find solutions, and how we write them and we graph them. That's the one big difference here with inequalities. Because as you'll see, we have multiple solutions when we talk about inequalities, which is our big difference between inequalities and equations. So first and foremost, when we see the word inequality, it means that something is unequal or not equal. In or in front of a word, that prefix just is kind of the opposite, or just telling us that two things are not equal. So you've seen and are familiar with some inequality symbols. We use symbols such as the less than symbol or the greater than symbol. We even see less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. And we also see the symbol that two things just aren't equal, does not equal. And all of these are used in place of an equal sign because obviously we're talking about things that aren't. So in the past you might have seen things such as like 3 is greater than 1, or 77 is less than 101. And these are all inequality statements, but really where we're going to jump in our unit here is we're going to see some algebra pieces to it. And so we're going to be talking about x, or an unknown number, being less than 1. And can you list all of the solutions or numbers that could go in here to make this statement true? And I'm sure you're already thinking to yourself, there's multiple. 0 is less than 1, -7 is less than 1, -105 is less than 1. So you can already see that there's going to be lots of solutions to our inequalities. So as we move down the page, we're going to talk about some ways to find solutions. And really I want to compare that to something that we already know, because we just got out of our equations unit. And when we solved equations, we would find a number that makes that equation true. So for example, down here, we see the equation 2x plus 11 equals 23. And you all know how to solve equations, so if you want to solve it quickly while I solve it on the board, we have 2x equals, I think we're left with a 12. We divide both sides by 2, and we get that x equals 6. And the only solution, or the only value of x that makes this equation true, is 6. If we plug that back in to this equation, there's no other option. 6 is the only one, and that's what makes an equation an equation. They have one solution. However, when we solve inequalities, there are going to be several, and I'm going to capitalize that here because that is our main difference. There's going to be several numbers that will make an inequality sentence true. So we're going to look at a couple examples here down below. You see the question, which numbers are solutions to the inequality? And I'm going to highlight it here so our eyes are drawn to it. X is greater than or equal to -3. And they give us a couple options over here on the right side. They give us these options to choose from, and we need to pick the ones that we could plug in here for x and this statement be true. I think my favorite strategy is just to be able to read them out loud. So let's start with the first one. -8 is -8 greater than or equal to -3. And I know a lot of this is in the world of negative numbers, so drawing a number line could be very helpful. -1, -2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is our -8, and this is our -3. We see that -8 is further from 0, and therefore no is not greater than or equal to -3. Our next option is -3, and if we plot that on here, we see those two numbers are equal. And since this inequality symbol has a bar underneath that says or equal, -3 would make this statement true. -1 we would plot here, and we see that 2 is greater than -3 as we move closer to 0, so that would be true. And then obviously as we continue moving past 0, all of those numbers are going to be true as well. So those last four numbers are all possible solutions. We could plug any of them in for x, plus a million other numbers to make this statement true. Let's try another one down here. We see the inequality statement W is less than 2. So we want to find a number that we can plug in that's less than 2. So I'm again going to draw a number line here just to help us think through this. And we'll just start plugging these numbers in. -3, is that less than 2? Yes, it is further away, or it's on the left side of 2, so this one would be true. 0 is less than 2, again on this side of the number line below 2. 2 is an interesting one, because if we plug that in, it would read 2 is less than 2. That statement is not true. And neither is 5 or 8. All of those three numbers are bigger than 2, so they are not solutions. And then our last one here, we see that our scenario has kind of flip-flopped. We see the number first instead of the letter. So as we draw this number line as well, we might just have to think about it a little more concretely, make sure that what we're saying, we're really thinking about that as we plug these numbers in. So let's start with -3. 6 is less than or equal to -3. Is that true? Well, we have 6 sitting over here on the number line, and we have -3 sitting here on the number line. Is 6 less than -3? That's not true. 0, is 0 less than, or is 6 less than or equal to 0? 6 is not less than 0, so that is not true. Is 2, if we plug that in, it'll read 6 is less than or equal to 2. That is not true. But when we start plugging this 6 in, it'll read 6 is less than or equal to 6. Because of that or equal to piece, that would be true. 6 is less than or equal to 8. 6 is less than 8, and 6 is less than 14. So those three numbers there at the end are possible solutions, and any other number as you get bigger than 6. So if you flip it over to the back, we have one last question that we need to answer that we started with. We figured out what inequalities are. We've talked about how we can find solutions, and really using that number line will help us visualize numbers we can plug in. And here on the back, we're going to talk about how we graph solutions. This is a big part of our inequality unit, and it requires a number line that we've already used a little bit today. And it also requires circles, and that's just our plotting of the points. And we use different types of circles depending on the scenario. So an open circle, if we use an open circle, it means that the number is not a solution. Number is not a solution. And we saw that on that front page when we got down to these examples. For example, this one, W is less than 2. When we tried to plug 2, the actual number that we were using in the inequality, the statement wasn't true. It doesn't include itself. However, it does include numbers right up to it. So we could plug in like 1.9, and that would be less than 2. So we use an open circle when we see symbols just like greater than or less than, because it doesn't include the physical number in the inequality. The closed circle means that the number in the inequality is a solution. And it applies to the inequality symbols such as less than or equal to, because that equal bar is including the number, or greater than or equal to. So we're going to try and put that into practice here with a couple examples. We have a couple blank number lines that we're going to build, and it's really important when you're given a blank number line to figure out where our number line needs to be represented. And we see that we need to put a -6 on our number line. So I usually like to start my number line with that number, start with the -6 because I know it needs to be there, and then I just add a couple tick marks on either side of that number, just to give me some context to the solution. But you don't need to label every single number, but definitely start with the number that you're given. I also like to use a highlighter when I graph. These solutions, or this inequality, reads that x is greater than -6. So we need to include all of the numbers that are bigger than -6, and so I use a highlighter on my number line just to highlight the direction of numbers that are bigger than -6. If you don't have a highlighter, you can use a squiggly line or something, draw a line above the number line just to make it obvious that that is what you're talking about. So we start with highlighting the numbers that are bigger than -6, and then we need to choose a circle to put on the number -6. And again, as we just discussed, an open circle means that we're not including that number. So I'm going to use an open circle because -6 couldn't be plugged back into this inequality to be true. So that's an open circle. We used a greater than sign. So trying the second one, we see x is less than or equal to 5. So going again with this strategy, I'm going to start in the middle and put a 5, and then just add a couple tick marks on either side of this inequality, or number that I've placed. And we see the symbol less than or equal to 5, which means that we are including 5. So when I draw my circle, I'm going to draw a closed circle because 5 could be plugged back into this inequality. And then with my highlighter, I want to highlight all of the numbers that are less than 5. So I'm going to go below 5 and draw an arrow. Any number down on this side of the number line, and if you want to test it out, for example, 1 we could plug in here and read 1 is less than or equal to 5, and that be true. So testing a couple numbers is always a great option. Then our last one, we see 4 is greater than x. So I'm going to start with a 4 right in the center, add a couple tick marks on either side of it to give some context. I see that the symbol that is being used doesn't have an equal bar, which means that we are not including 4, even though that's the number that is written. So I'm going to use an open circle, and then I need to highlight the numbers that are less than 4, because it says 4 is bigger than a number. So I could plug in, for example, in this x spot, I could plug 0 in. 4 is greater than 0. But I couldn't plug in 8 because 4 is not bigger than 8. So I'm going to highlight then in this direction. If you're ever confused on direction to highlight in, always just test a couple numbers and see where the numbers make sense. The last piece here then is how we can write an inequality from a number line that's already drawn for us. And I have a couple strategies that I like to use here because we know, as we've seen already, that every single inequality statement has a letter, it has an inequality symbol, and it has a number. So usually when I start writing inequalities, I start with a variable, and so I'm just going to go down all 4 of these. I know I need a variable. I also know I need a number, and that number is just whichever number the circle or the dot is on. So in this first one, for example, that dot is planted on the -3, so I know that needs to be my number. In the second one, my circle is on a 7, so I'm going to put there. My third one, I have it on a 4, and my fourth one, it's on a 2. So then the last step would be to pick the inequality symbol that describes this scenario. So starting here with number 1, x is what to -3? And as I look at this number line, I see that all of the numbers that are highlighted here in pink are greater than -3. So I know that x needs to be bigger than -3. But then I also need to zoom in here on the circle. Is it a closed or open circle? And because it's closed, that means that I am including -3, and my inequality symbol needs that or equal to piece. The second one, I see that all of my numbers that are highlighted are less than 7, so x is less than 7, and the circle is open, so it doesn't get that bar. In the third one, all of my numbers here that are highlighted are less than 4, and again, it's an open circle, so it doesn't get that or equal to bar. And in my last example, all of my numbers here are greater than 2. And again, the circle is open, so it wouldn't get that or equal to piece. So I know I went through that pretty quickly. We're going to spend some time reviewing and practicing now, but you can put these notes in your notes section of your binder and move on to the next piece of the agenda.